It's Randi Rhodes. Here's a clip from our show, and go to randyrhodes.com for the whole thing and a podcast. Buy a stinking podcast.
Mary had a little man.
The fault. We believe that all men are created equal.
To the magnificent mosaic that is America.
From radio beacon to radio beacon. I have a dream. Change has come to America.
Believe me.
Knock, knock. Who's there?
It's a figment of your imagination.
Randi Rhodes Show.
Turn up your mind.
My opponent, radical liberal Raphael Warnock.
I memorized everything they told me to say.
Radical liberal Raphael Warnock.
I just married a really rich guy.
Radical liberal Raphael Warnock.
My husband bought my Senate seat.
Radical liberal Raphael Warnock.
No one actually voted for me.
Radical liberal Raphael Warnock.
I am consumed with self-hate.
Radical liberal Raphael Warnock.
I don't belong here. I'm not a senator.
Radical liberal Raphael Warnock.
Where's my husband? I need help.
Radical liberal Raphael Warnock.
All the players on the WNBA team I own hate me. I'm not a real person. I'm a robot. I am a robot. I am a robot.
It all comes down to Georgia. Chiwu, I just want you to understand that it all comes down to Georgia. Any change we want to see, anything at all, restarting the Voting Rights Act, okay, something like that. Real, if you're interested in, justice reform. It all comes down to the Senate. If we don't have the Senate, none of that is possible. Obama had a House and a Senate to work with for 2 years, not even 2 years. And he had to do a stimulus package, which Joe Biden will have to do as well. And then he decided to do the ACA to get health care to people like me who wanted to start a business but couldn't because I was being, I worked at the Death Star. Okay, remember, I worked for Clear Channel for how many freaking years, following Rush Limbaugh like the cleanup guy at the Elephant Circus, okay? And I couldn't quit because I needed my health insurance and I had cancer, all right? So now we get the ACA, you could go, it was freedom, it was maximum freedom. It was a chance to try. You can only do that if Biden has a House and a Senate. If he's got Mitch McConnell as the majority leader, remember, the majority leader determines everything that comes to the floor. Now, if people are interested in something really out of the box, really out of the norm, the way Donald Trump does things, then there is that theory that a caller called me about that he heard on Tom Hartman's show. Now, I need to have a conversation with Tom, which I still haven't done because my eyes are drippy and oozy. And I had to tend to my own drippy, why do they call it dry eye? So I haven't had a chance to talk to him, but I will tell you that I've been reading about how the Vice President of the United States is supposed to be the Senate pro tem, okay? He's supposed to be the President of the Senate. That would be Kamala. However, in 1890, apparently the Vice President of the United States just stopped showing up and they farmed it out. And then we got a lot of party politics involved, and they made rules that said that if you have the majority in the Senate, you get the chairmanship of all the committees, and then the majority leader gets to say what comes to the floor. You see what I mean? So there's some change that is possible, I think. But it's going to take a lot of conversations with a lot of people, not just Tom, but constitutional scholars, people that understand the parliamentary rules of the Senate, when it changed, why it changed, did it just change because the vice president was a lazy oaf? I don't know. But right now, if we won these 2 seats in Georgia, if we elected John Ossoff, and by we, I mean Georgians, because they're the only ones that get to vote. And of course, there's your typical voter suppression going on right now in Georgia. In Atlanta, the 3rd largest county, only 5 early voting sites are open today. They usually have 11 during a general election. And you saw the lines anyway. So now they only have 5 instead of 11. They'll open 2 additional sites the 3rd week of early voting, which just began today. And so you'll have a total of 7 instead of 11. I mean, look, they love voter suppression. They hate when the people show up. They hate it because there are more of us than there are of these lunatic, fringy, right-wing people. There just are. But it really does come down to Georgia. If we have a House and we have a Senate and we have a Biden, I think Biden would want to be more like FDR than you might think. I know he's a centrist. I understand what the DLC is. I've gotten it. I've always been, the DLC was a corporate wing of the Democratic Party. It was sort of invented by the Clintons because the big businesses were giving, and they were doing things like Mitch McConnell is doing, saying, okay, have a fundraiser for me for breakfast, have a fundraiser for me at lunch, have a fundraiser cocktail party, and then have a fundraiser dinner. And if you raise enough money, I'll listen to what you want. And what these businesses want right now is liability protection. They don't want to be sued if they put their workers in COVID-infested workplaces. And Mitch McConnell is doing that for them we have food lines out the yin. We have people that are losing everything they worked for in their whole lives to build. I know I'm a small business, okay? I get it. It's so freaking hard right now. It's so hard. Restaurant owners, my God, my heart is breaking. Bar owners, my heart is breaking. Small, businesses that are, in cold weather can't have indoor dining. But this is all because of Donald Trump denying that there was anything to deal with in the first place. It would just magically go away. It would be like a miracle. Hey, hydroxychloroquine, take it. Lightsabers and inject bleach. And no one held him accountable for any of this in his party. Mitch McConnell is silent about who won the election. Do you really think that there is a chance to work with this guy on anything we give a damn about? No. This economy sucked anyway, and I know everybody's going, oh, well, it was because of COVID. No. Pre-COVID, we had a manufacturing recession in this country. Pre-COVID, before COVID. We had one little bump in GDP. We had one little good quarter or 2 quarters, and that was after Donald Trump gave the store away to corporate America. The tax cuts, right? He gave everything to the wealthiest Americans. He gave tax cuts to corporations that were making billions of dollars in profit, not revenue, profit, okay? And so we had a little bump in the economy, but that did not last long because we were near full employment when Obama left. So what did he leave us with? A giant deficit. And now all of a sudden they're going to become the deficit hawks and tell you that we can't bail you out. We can't give you a stimulus package in the middle of a mass casualty event. I mean, this is unbelievable. And then his tariff wars with China, he called a truce. Nobody even noticed. Donald Trump called a truce in the trade war with China in January and never got any of the reforms that he demanded from President Xi. Never got anything. Nothing. And so he left us the worst economy in 70 years, really. I mean, I think he's the first president to have left office with less jobs in place than when he began. Go to RandiRhodes.com for the whole thing and a podcast. Buy a stinking podcast.